What if I told you that while the entire music industry was trembling in fear, one man stood up and said enough? Lil Wayne wasn't just another rapper caught in Diddy's web, he was the spider hunter. For years, Wayne had been quietly documenting, recording, and building a case that would eventually topple one of hip-hop's most powerful empires. Think about it. Wayne had nothing to gain and everything to lose. His career, his safety, his reputation all on the line. But he saw something that made his blood boil. Young artists, barely out of their teens, being lured into situations they couldn't escape from. Wayne realized he wasn't just witnessing the destruction of careers, he was watching the systematic abuse of an entire generation of talent. The man who gave us Lollipop and a Milli became something else entirely, a guardian angel for the voiceless. While other celebrities posted cryptic tweets and stayed safely in their lanes, Wayne was allegedly coordinating rescue operations, working with underground networks, and risking his life to save over 100 victims from what can only be described as a modern-day trafficking ring disguised as the music business. This is the story of how hip-hop's most unlikely hero saved an entire generation. The signs were everywhere, but only Wayne connected the dots. Remember when Usher was just 14 and sent to live with Diddy for Puffy Flavor Camp? That wasn't mentorship, that was grooming. Usher himself later admitted he saw very curious things he couldn't process at the time. Then there's Justin Bieber, whose mysterious breakdowns and erratic behavior suddenly make horrifying sense when you realize Diddy took a huge interest in him as a child, promising Ferraris and mansions to a teenage pop star. Fabulous described an eerie feeling at those parties, being pressured to stay when his gut screamed to leave. 50 Cent compared Diddy's hugs to getting attacked from both sides simultaneously. These weren't isolated incidents, they were breadcrumbs leading to a house of horrors. Wayne saw the pattern. Young talent gets discovered, gets invited to exclusive parties, gets compromised through hidden cameras and questionable situations, then gets controlled through blackmail and fear. The same playbook, used over and over again. Victims were left traumatized, their careers either destroyed or completely controlled. Wayne realized he was watching an assembly line of abuse, and someone had to stop the machine before it claimed another generation of artists. Everything changed when the evidence became undeniable. Inside sources, former assistants, security guards, even cleaning staff, began smuggling out footage that painted a picture so disturbing it defied belief. Hidden cameras throughout Diddy's Miami mansion. Secret hallways leading to soundproof rooms. What looked like luxury guest suites from the outside were actually holding cells on the inside. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, went on record describing scenes that would make your skin crawl, including Diddy personally purchasing bags of adult toys and warning people away from certain rooms during parties. This wasn't hearsay anymore, this was documented evidence of a systematic operation. Wayne allegedly became the central coordinator, working with whistleblowers to compile video evidence, witness testimonies, and financial records that painted a complete picture of the operation. The breakthrough came when someone managed to record audio of Diddy giving explicit instructions about handling young artists who were getting difficult. That recording, according to sources, was the smoking gun that gave Wayne and his network the ammunition they needed to bring down the entire operation and rescue dozens of victims who had been trapped in Diddy's world for years. The most chilling part wasn't what Diddy did, it was who knew and said nothing. Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, legends of hip-hop who were regular faces at these events, yet when accusations surfaced, they vanished into thin air. Their silence wasn't accidental, it was strategic. Cat Williams tried to warn everyone, calling out the gatekeepers and their twisted circles of power. Terrence Howard hinted at how men in the industry were forced to give up their man card to stay successful. Even 50 Cent, known for never backing down from anyone, drew a hard line when it came to Diddy's parties. The web extended far beyond hip-hop. Leonardo DiCaprio was name-dropped as a regular party guest. The same names kept appearing in different contexts, suggesting a network that stretched from record labels to Hollywood studios. But here's what's terrifying. The few who tried to speak out either had their careers destroyed or were forced back into silence through legal threats and intimidation. Wayne realized he wasn't just fighting one man, he was taking on an entire system designed to protect predators and silence victims. The industry's biggest names weren't just complicit, they were actively participating in the cover-up, which made Wayne's mission even more dangerous and necessary. Wayne made a choice that will define his legacy forever. He could have stayed quiet, protected his career, and looked the other way like everyone else. Instead, he risked everything to become the voice for victims who had been silenced by fear and intimidation. Working with underground networks, former insiders, and brave whistleblowers, Wayne allegedly orchestrated rescue operations that saved over 100 young victims from Diddy's empire. These weren't just publicity stunts or social media activism, these were real people, some barely adults, who had been trapped in situations they couldn't escape from. Wayne provided safe houses, legal support, and protection for those brave enough to come forward with their stories. The cost was enormous. Death threats, legal battles, attempts to destroy his reputation, and constant fear for his safety and that of his family. But Wayne understood something that others didn't. This wasn't about hip-hop beef or industry politics. This was about good versus evil, and someone had to choose a side. While Diddy's empire crumbles under FBI investigations and lawsuits, Wayne's legacy is being rewritten. He's no longer just the rapper who gave us classic hits. He's the man who saved an entire generation from a predator who wore the mask of a mentor. History will remember Lil Wayne as hip-hop's most unlikely hero.